Hi, my name is Petal Kadir, Curriculum Subject Specialist. In this session, we will look at discussion of the lesson planning process. As we know, with the rollout of the renewed curriculum, this is accompanied by a new lesson plan template. So in order to ensure effective implementation of the new curriculum, we want to ensure that teachers are planning effectively. So here is the new lesson plan template. And as you see, it begins first by the teacher writing in the grade that she's planning for, the subject, followed by the strand or the topic, then the date that she's planning for. Next, the objective of the lesson. Now here is where teacher writes in the purpose of the lesson, what she intends to do on that day or to achieve on that day. Followed by what are the specific curriculum outcomes. Now this part is taken from the curriculum guide and it's written into the lesson plan. There are three types of specific curriculum outcomes: knowledge, skills, and values. Now the knowledge outcome refers to what the teacher wants the students to know. So this is the knowing element of the outcomes. In this section, the teacher will state the knowledge outcomes, or they may write the content that they want the students to know. In the next column, the skills. This is the doing element of the outcomes. And this is where the teacher will specify what the students will learn to do during the lesson. Followed by the values, the soft skills, or the feeling aspect of the outcome. Notice in the lesson plan template, there are broken lines. Now the broken line indicate that there are some outcomes that may cross over on the two or all three of the types of outcomes. Next, planning for the diverse learners in this lesson. And here is where the teacher will cater for all learners in the class. Please note that a diverse learner may not be the same for all subject areas. So the teacher is expected to state the name of the learner or learners he or she is catering for, identify what aspect they are adjusting to suit the learner need. For example, if there is any alternate start point or format or learning activity, and also state how it will help the student or students. The next component of the lesson planning is formative assessment, be it if it's an observation or conversation or product. Now here is where the teacher will look under the column that states inclusive assessment strategies in the curriculum guide to get ideas for assessment, and state the form of assessment that he or she will use for that day and how it will inform the students' learning. Components of the lesson: prompter, hook, or anchor. And this is where the teacher will engage the learners. Please know that the teacher might use a question, activity, short video, image, piece of text that is related to the purpose and SEOs or specific curriculum outcome of the lesson, and that will pique the students' interest. Next is time to teach, and on the time to teach, from the curriculum guide, the teacher may use the suggested activity under the column that states inclusive learning strategies. And here the teacher will either highlight how she will engage the students throughout the lesson. Now this time is limited to 10 to 15 minutes period. And so this is where the teacher will explain or guide the students through their activities or exploration stage. Time to practice, which is 10 to 15 minutes, and this is where students are given the activity to practice their learning. So here the learners are engaged in activities to reinforce the focus of the lesson. During this period, if need arises, the teacher may regroup the class and may explain or reinforce certain concepts that she may observe the student is lacking. However, this time is dedicated for the students to practice their learning. Next is time to reflect and share. Here, the students are given the opportunity to freely express their learning. So the teacher can ask questions and anticipate the next step in learning. However, this time is not to give a worksheet or a learning activity. I repeat, the students are allowed to freely explain their learning and how they feel about what they learned during the lesson. How does the lesson integrate with other subjects? And the teacher will highlight 2 or 3 other subject areas that integrates with the lesson. So this can be another core subject area, or it could be a subject on the beyond core. Resources used in the lesson, and the teacher will list all the materials or resources used to support the lesson. Technology used in the lesson. Again, the teacher will list any form of technology, both digital and non-digital, used in the lesson. Notice the broken line. So that broken line indicates that there are some resources that may cut across on the technology. So it can go for both resources and technology. How does the lesson include students' context? So here the teacher will describe how the lesson connects the students' knowledge of the local community, Guyana's culture, in addition to their knowledge of the world. And the final component of the lesson is, what is your final reflection on the lesson, or reflective practice? So this is the time that the teacher will sit after the lesson and reflect on his or her practice. And the teacher may even consider what is their next step. Now that brings us to the end of this session on discussion of the lesson planning process.